Hello and welcome to this lesson on harmony and tonality. This is the final lesson now. We are going to cover key signatures. So, a key signature definition is the collection of sharps, so the hashtag symbols, or flats, the little b's, at the beginning of a piece of music, sometimes referred to as key as shorthand. This tells you what the tonality of the music is, so major or minor, and what diatonic notes are used in the music. So how many sharps and flats they are, and which notes in the musical alphabet are sharps and flats. Tonality, this is whether the music is in a major or minor key signature, or whether it is atonal, which means neither major nor minor. Remember, diatonic means notes in the key signature, which is another way of saying the notes that are in the chord chart that you constructed at the very beginning of this course. Those are the notes in the key signature. If you don't want to go through this process of constructing of finding out how many sharps or flats are in the key signature, feel free to construct a chord chart, which takes a little bit more time. If you train yourself in this method that we're going to go through in this lesson to figure out how many sharps or flats are in a key signature, then that's the quickest way to do it, if you can train yourself enough to do that. If not, construct a chord chart, and that will tell you which notes are sharp or flat anyway. You don't even need to construct the whole chord chart. Just go through the major or minor formula as long as you know the root note. So, without further ado, first of all, no sharps or flats. What does it mean? It means that it's either C major or A minor, or it is atonal. Remember, atonal meaning it's not major or minor. The best way to figure out if a piece of music is in C major or A minor, or no matter what the key signature is, because there's a major and minor version of every kind of number of sharps or flats, as you will see in the next slide, you need to figure out what chord is played first. This is almost always chord number 1 in a chord sequence, in a chord chart. If the key is C major, the first chord will be C major. And if the key signature is A minor, the first chord will be A minor. So that's a bit of a tip of how to figure out whether it's major or minor. If a piece is atonal, it is most likely because it changes key signature too often, and it's less effort to notate the sharps and flats individually. And we're going to listen to an example from an EdXL A-level set work, a bit of film music from the retro 80s, I think it was, film Batman Returns, Batman versus the Circus by Danny Elfman. To give an example, Danny Elfman is a fantastic composer. He also composed music for the film Men in Black. He composed music for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Excellent composer, loads of good work, and they're all very atonal. Let's give it a listen. So that, as you could hear, changed keys so often, there's no point in putting a key signature, or he'd have to start putting different key signatures halfway through a bar, splitting up time signatures. It's just a lot less effort to notate the sharps and flats individually. Now, there are two different kinds of key signatures. There's key signatures that use sharps, there's key signatures that use flats. Now, this is how we figure out key signatures that have sharps using what's known as the cycle of fifths. This method helps us figure out what's what. So starting from C for major keys or A for minor keys, for going around the cycle, we are going to just look at the major keys, but you can see we've got the minor keys there as well for your convenience. But to figure out the what's known as the relative minor of a major chord, major key, sorry, is we look at the root note of the major key, for example, C major here, and then we go down 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, or down 3 frets on a guitar, and that will always give us the relative minor. So, the cycle of fifths means that starting from C for major keys, you go up a perfect fifth each time. You go up a fifth degree of the scale each time. And that tells you what the next major key is, and you add 1 sharp onto it. And remember, perfect fifth is 7 semitones. So from C major, up to G major, we start from C. Let's start down here. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. G major. On a guitar, you would go up a string and up 2 frets. So whether you want to visualize a keyboard or visualize a guitar fretboard, that's how to do it. You do that each time. Or on a guitar, you can visualize just going down down a string to the more bassy sounding string. So from the A string to the E string, keeping on the same fret. So from C, we've got G major. From G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. D major. Then from D major, counting up a fifth gives us A major. Then E major. Then B major. Then F sharp major. Then C sharp major. G major has 1 sharp. D major has 2 sharps. And so on and so forth. You add a sharp each time. Until you get to C sharp major, all of them are sharps. Absolutely every single one of them. So that is how you figure out how many sharps are in each key. Now, for flats, instead of a cycle of fifths, it's a cycle of fourths. From C major for major keys, you still start on C, even for flats. You go up a fourth to F major. Remember, a fourth is 5 semitones instead of the 7. So you go up to F major, which gives us 1 flat. Then up to B flat major for 2 flats, E flat major for 3 flats, 4 flats in A flat major, 5 flats in D flat major, 6 flats in G flat major, and C flat major gives us 7 flats. Now, with flats, it's a little bit easier perhaps to figure out which note becomes flat, because as you can see from F major, the note is B. And what's the next key in the cycle of fourths? B flat major, the note that has become flat in the previous key. And in B flat major, which note is the new flat? E, which tells us what is the next key? E flat major. And then you can see the new note is A, leads on to A flat major, and so on and so forth. Even in C flat major, the new note that has become flat is F, which just brings us back to F major. So there's a little hint as well to remember which notes for flats is added as the new flat. Right, that's all for key signatures. You have now gone through all you need to know about harmony for a GCSE standard level as a basic course.